Welcome, boys. In this video, I'm going to show you how to fix a flat yourself. So on the town car, as you see, we already got the wheel off, but if you wanted to know, 21 millimeters would hold those on. Make sure you turn off the air suspension in the trunk before jacking, and then jack it up from the frame. So the other morning, when I went to go move this beast into the street, and then back into the driveway after a gravel load, I noticed the tire was kind of flat, and I found a foreign object in it. So we're gonna go ahead and pull it out, and then fix it ourselves. And to do that, we'll be using an assortment of things here. A rasp type deal, this thingy, some tire plugs, and some rubber cement. Okay, I'm going to attempt to remove this foreign object with some vice grips, but I don't know how well that's going to work, as it's been driven into the tire pretty damn far. So I suspect this is going to go about as well as it could, which is not very well at all. A small nail. Alright, so we have to clean this area and make this hole big enough for our plugs to fit in. So we have to shove this rasp down up in here and clean this thing. Which in this case, I might just take the damn drill and drill the hole through here to make this a little bit easier to get in. So we'll see about that. Stand by just one. Alright. Let's step it up another bit size, shall we? This will probably do. Flingin'! Now, admittedly, these are much easier to do this when you have the T-handle ones, which I do have a T-handle one of these in the BMW, and in the Crown Vic, and in the Corvette. But these are the ones I keep inside the house, and I'm frankly too lazy to get one out of the other cars. Okay, so after you kind of ream this out a bit, and make it all nice and bling, then we'll be ready for the actual repair part. But prep is key. Alright, so now we grab a plug. Guess I might need my actual hands to grip this thing. Okay, so we got our plug. It's going to go through this little needle eye kind of deal. Get it through halfway threaded. So you got about half on one side, half on the other. And this is where it's going to get fun, because it's going to require an incredible amount of effort to get this thing through there. Especially with that hole being as thin as it is. If I have to ream it bigger, I will, but ideally you don't want to go any bigger diameter hole than you have to. Alright, so now with our rubber cement on here, make a nice thick bond. Go ahead and force this in. Okay, boys, we get your plug about halfway in and halfway out, which I believe is where we are now. You just have to give her the old yank. And then our plug will stay in, these will be out, and then we'll be able to cut it to size. So you have to pull it and do it quickly and fast so it'll cut, and you don't just pull the plug out. Alright, I think that's good. I'll go ahead and air it up, check for leaks, and then cut it. Okay, boys, slide it a little closer, so we now have it aired back up again. If you listen carefully, we don't hear anything, so we're at about, what was that, 38 PSI? So we're actually a little overfilled, but I don't hear anything. So I'd say that's good. And now what you don't want to have is, as this thing drives, this thing sticking to stuff or pulling itself out. So you do have to get your razor blade or knife or fire or something and then cut the excess off here, so as to not interfere with your drivability and then screw you over later on when you're driving down the road. Which is easier said than done because this isn't really a solid object. It's kind of rubbery and thus kind of hard to cut. But there we go. So hopefully I can find that nail I pulled out earlier so I don't run it over again. It's on the ground out here somewhere, but in a nutshell, it's how you fix your leaky tire yourself. So good to go. I'll go ahead and mount it back on the car. You guys don't need to see that, but in summary, what you need is some plugs, rubber cement, and these guys, although I don't recommend these, I recommend the T-handled shape ones that I actually have in the cars. But I think these came with a kit or something, and so I just leave them in the house because, you know, if I want to struggle, I can struggle at the house fine, because if this doesn't cut it, I can always get the drill. But when you're out on the road somewhere, you want better tools, so I do keep the better ones that you can grip like this and get more leverage in the actual car. So that's how you fix your own flat tire. If it's a minor object that has penetrated it, of course, if you had an air compressor in your car, you could air the tire up, or use your spare tire. So most of my cars, I do have those three options. Crown Vic, the BMW, and the Corvette all have those three options. I either can use a spare. Two of those cars has a full-size spare, or I can plug the tire if it's minor. And that also you should also keep something like this in your car just in case, either a screwdriver or vice grip, so you can always pull the object out. So that's how you do it, boys. Be prepared and fix your own flats. Don't take it to the tire shop and get ripped off. Thanks for watching, boys. Peace.